We've had three thrilling one-day games with India winning 2-1. It's time we turn our attention to the T20 series starting on Thursday. Hello everyone. Welcome to World Cricket Chat. I am Shruti Chopra, your tarot reader, and I have our analyst Suneer Chowdhary enjoying Chandigarh winters. Hey Suneer, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going really cold, but yep, we're getting back to the weather that we are so fond of from being from Mumbai, the warmer climes of Mumbai.
Well, I think you're still far from it, the bit there. Well, I'll get straight on to the cricket now. India did win the ODI series, but will go into these T20 internationals with a defeat next to their name. Should that have any bearing on how they approach this one?
I like to believe no, in fact, Shruti. In fact, I think India played rather well in that ODI series, got out of the jail a couple of occasions, and almost managed to do it again in the third game before suffering that very narrow defeat at Kolkata. Look, this is quite a different format to gauge at best of times, and when the teams are so evenly matched, it's even more difficult to pick a winner. But that's how I think it is. Two quite well balanced sides who will come out at each other without too much regard for what happened in the ODIs before this game.
Speaking of balance, what team combination do you think Kohli will go with? A lot of young guns to complement India's experience.
Indeed, a lot of young guns to complement India's experience. For starters, I think the selectors have wisely decided to rest Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja in the lead up to these test matches against Australia in February, March, which is clearly a bigger priority for the management. We know what Australia have done. They will be coming down to India with the T20 series still going on in Australia, back home against Sri Lanka. So, that being the case, India have the selectors have not made such a wrong choice by resting the two of them. But what that will also do is bring the likes of Yuzvendra Chahal and Parvez Rasool to the fore. The selectors can have a better look at these players. I'm not sure if both will play this game, this opening game, with Amit Mishra also brought in, and his experience clearly been much more than both these spinners' experience. I would have also preferred someone like Kuldeep Yadav in the squad, a Chinaman bowler. But then you don't always get everything that you wish for. And as far as the bowling is concerned, I think it's a fairly decent selection made by the Indian selectors.
And what about their batting? Do the likes of Yuvraj Singh and Suresh Raina get another go?
I think the reason why I spoke about the Indian bowling first is because that's a problem area in white ball cricket for India, as it is for a lot of teams. We saw what happened at the Wankhede Stadium in the World T20 semi-final, and then against the same side, that is the West Indies in the USA as well. As far as the Indian batting is concerned, the order looks pretty much settled. Bar, I think, one position, two spinners, two speedsters, and Hardik Pandya will form the five-man bowling attack, which leaves six batting slots. KL Rahul and Mandeep look most likely to open the innings, and Kohli, Dhoni, and Yuvraj might have cemented their positions with their experience and the way Yuvraj played in that ODIs, which leaves Manish Pandey, Suresh Raina, and Rishabh Pant to fight it out for that remaining slot that I was talking about. Should be interesting to see who does Kohli pitch for. You ask me, I'd probably go for Manish Pandey, but then you never know what happens on the day of the match.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see what happens because I'm sure Kohli would like to get this right in the first match itself. On to England now. What do you make of them? They sure look like they have the game to challenge the best in white ball cricket.
They do, Shruti. They definitely do. Not for nothing did they make it to the final of the World T20 last year. Wins over South Africa, Sri Lanka, and New Zealand on the way in that tournament. Since that finals defeat, they have beaten Sri Lanka and lost to Pakistan in one-off games at home. And there's an interesting pattern to the results. I'm not sure whether you noticed this, but England have never lost a game in which they batted second since May 2014. That's right. England have never
Wow.
lost a game, a T20 game, in which they have batted second in all these years, which is partially because they have batted first in some of those games, but equally because teams haven't been able to find out a way to defend those totals against the very strong English batting lineup.
That is quite crazy and encouraging signs, and it could potentially mean that England could end this dismal tour on a high. But before I get carried away, how does this translate to their performances on Indian pitches?
Yes, they could end up winning some matches, but again, the toss becomes crucial. One can only wish the Kanpur surface on which this first match will be played isn't as bland in its nature as the first three one-day internationals that were played at Pune, Cuttack, and Kolkata. Well, I must admit that the Kolkata surface did have some grass, but it did ease out to be a belter too, and I was very surprised that India did not chase that total down. Kanpur has never hosted a T20 international before this, but the last time an ODI was played here in 2015 between India and South Africa, India had made 298 in reply to South Africa's 300 odd. There were a couple of IPL games played here last season too, where again the surface looked flat, and the only advantage bowlers might have in this game is the afternoon start, which means that the game should be over by the time the dew comes in.
Right. Suneer, any exciting English players to look out for?
I think given the way they bat, the entire batting lineup is quite exciting.
Yeah, true.
But I'm quite excited to have a look at fast bowler Timal Mills, who can crank it up to speeds of high 140 clicks. But it needs to be seen if he gets a go because England have a good pace bowling lineup as well. So not sure whether he'll be the first choice. Jason Roy had three good outings during the ODIs, and I wonder if he was waiting for the T20s to get that much needed century because he will open. He'll not have Alex Hales as his usual opening partner because Hales is injured and is back home. He is in fact going to miss the Pakistan Super League as well. But Roy is probably the one batsman to watch out for.
Nice. Now, the most crucial part of our chat. What's your prediction?
Why would you call this the most crucial part? I mean, my analysis is probably as crucial as well.
Absolutely, I agree.
This is coming from a guy who's not made a couple of good predictions in the last two matches. So, but I'll be leaning towards the team batting second again with both those games in the IPL that I was speaking about earlier having been won by the side chasing. You, Shruti, your call?
Well, Taro is very similar to what you're saying. Taro does give advantage to the team batting second, but I will add something. I see England being quite impressive in this opener, so that's something to look out for.
That is definitely something to look out for. Coming from you, you giving England a better hope than India. When was the last time that happened? Probably.
Never,
probably. It's like a Haley's comment. But super, that's teams batting second here, having all the advantage all the time, despite the ODIs having seen two games won by teams batting first. But that's that from us. Be back soon for the next World Cricket Chat episode. But before that, do subscribe to our channel by clicking on that red button and follow us on Twitter at World Cricket Chat. That's WORLDCRICCHAT. Later.